Quite devastating news today from the latest Progress in International Reading Literacy study showing that 81% of our children in grade 4 cannot read for meaning. The vast majority of our children, it seems, are being failed by our education system. Professor Chika Sehoole is the Dean of the Faculty of Education at the University of Pretoria. Professor, good afternoon to you. We have been battling this problem for many, many years. Why do you believe our children can't read for meaning in grade 4?
Well, Stephen, good afternoon, and good afternoon as well to your viewers. I think the problem has got to do with what's happening in the classroom, which is where teaching and learning needs to take place, and which is where these children are supposed to acquire those skills.
Is there an issue with language? Our children often live in one language. They may watch TV in another language, multiple languages, and then go to school almost in another language. I understand many children, for example, will start school in mother tongue education and end up possibly having to transfer to English, change to English in grade 4. Is language a big factor in this?
Obviously, language does have a role to play in terms of learner achievement. And as you rightly say, children start their education, in mother tongue, and at grade 4 they transition to learning in a language that is not their mother tongue. And it is interesting that we test them in that year when they are learning to learn a new language. So language does have an impact in terms of their performance. But the other point which I want to raise, Stephen, is the fact that when it comes to language, unless in the early grades children learn the concepts and what they mean, and they are able to use those concepts in a sentence and get the right meaning of that particular sentence, there is no way in which we can be able to get this thing right. As it was said today in the seminar which the DBE convened, if you read and you are not able to understand what you are reading, then you are not reading at all, because it's meaningless. So we need to learn to teach our children to acquire the basic skills of literacy, to understand the concepts and their use, and in that way they will be able to read for meaning.
A lot of people, I think a lot of parents in particular, may blame the teachers. You started off by making the point that we're failing in the classroom. That immediately might suggest that it is the teachers that are the problem. Is that what you think is happening? Is it the teachers?
Well, teachers are not the only ones to blame here. As it is said that it takes the whole village to educate a child, parents do have a role to play as well. And as the study indicates, the children who are having support at home tend to be having a better achievement level than children who do not have support at home. And the second point related to that is the fact that children who are, the results of this particular study indicates that Africans and English-speaking learners have higher attainment levels than children who are learning, who come from African language background. And this shows, points to the point which you made earlier on, Stephen, that language does play a role in learning. If at all you are supposed to switch from one language to the other in order to learn, it takes you a few steps back than someone who's learning in the mother tongue from grade 1 up to university.
Professor Chika Sehoole, thank you. It's a very important conversation. A lot more to say there, of course. The Dean of Faculty of Education at the University of Pretoria.